Draft season is upon us, and LitTube's here for it. Welcome to a pre-draft special episode of Third and Goal. Let's get it. Justin, did we let a stranger on set? I haven't seen this motherfucker in like how long? Where you been, bro?
Life comes at you fast.
Jesus, you know, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, they go AWOL, and this guy goes missing.
I have not been here for this shit, and I knew. Let's get this 15 seconds out the way. Proceed.
You know, all shit goes wild in Pittsburgh, and this guy goes missing. God. Barely wrote us an article in the last month.
I wrote your article last month, man, and then shit went crazy after that. This isn't about me or the Steelers.
This is
draft.
This is about the draft.
The pre-draft show.
I roast him enough off camera. We're good with that.
Asshole.
So, yeah, we are covering, for the sake of time, our three teams, Ravens, Steelers, Rams.
Yep.
And we'll also be talking about a few sleeper picks because next week, Thursday, be there for it. We will be covering almost every individual pick.
Yep.
So if you are not subscribed to LitTube, do me a favor, hit that little red button, and if you really want to get real funky, hit that little bell because that'll give you a notification every time we post a new video. Because Thursday, it's like Black Friday at YouTube, dude. We are going to be balls to the walls. We're covering it all. But without further ado, let's get to work.
So we're going to start off with your team, and this is all my analysis that I came up with. Guys are going to feed in on their input because I'm no expert on their own team. We're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens, and let's be perfectly honest. Who the hell is Lamar Jackson going to throw to if you don't have any wide receivers on the team?
Yeah, I mean,
that's like the history of the Ravens, dude.
Yeah, that's the history of the Ravens in general. Like, I mean, Ravens haven't done historically well drafting wide receivers. We've done a good job picking up a few wide receivers, you know, here and there in free agency. Anquan Bolden being one, Derek Mason, Steve Smith. You know, he worked out for us. We didn't get no playoff out of him. But, hey, it was good to have him on the field. We had Mark Clayton. I think he was probably one of the better draft picks the White Ravens had a wide receiver. And we had to go way the fuck back there for that one because who was throwing to him? Kyle Bowler.
I don't make excuses.
I ain't making excuses. I'm just saying. Historically, the Ravens haven't done well. Right. But this is a new leadership at GM.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see. And there's a lot of talent out there. Obviously, on paper, we go to the human action figure himself, DK Metcalf, who, in my opinion,
he ain't going to be there.
He ain't going to be there, but for what the Ravens have been doing, works. Because the guy's built like a damn tight end.
Yeah.
And he can block the hell out of probably some small-ass corner.
Absolutely.
I wish he was going to be there, and I wish the Rams could pick him up, but I know that's not going to happen. So who do you think we're going to get?
If it were up to me and I'm in the Ravens position, I'm looking for more of a deep threat speed type of guy. Based off the talent of Lamar Jackson, if he gets out of the pocket, somebody streaming deep, breaks open, he's going to launch it. And my perfect pick is Paris Campbell out of Ohio State. Okay. It's about 6 foot, 6'1", about maybe 200 pounds. He ran 4.3 at the combine, 40-inch vertical, broke all types of records receiving at Ohio, and the hands are there. And he has the talent to be molded into a number one. And also my favorite receiver in the draft, ironically with the last name Brown, is A.J. Brown. Not Antonio Brown, but A.J. Brown. Actually, DK Metcalf's running buddy, both with the Ole Miss, both built like chiseled machines. I mean, A.J. Brown is 6'1", 229 pounds at wide receiver.
Massive.
That is unhuman. Ran 4.4. I mean, they're all Lamar needs a target.
Lamar does.
You need a target. Or you could do the basic Ravens way, and there's plenty of tight ends there because we know you love drafting tight ends.
We got like 5 of them. We don't need any more. We have the best blocking tight end in the NFL, Nick Boyle. We got Mark Andrews, who is like a Dennis Pitta 2.0, except without hip problems. So I'm quite happy to have him. And we have their first pick, Hayden Hurst, who with injury wasn't really able to prove himself, I think, in my opinion. But I think, you know, after a good offseason to recover, he wasn't worked too hard when he came out that, you know, surgery. I think he will definitely be able to put some numbers up. Because here's the thing. The Ravens offense, from what we saw, was very college-like. You know, it reminded me of a lot of, I mean, just really that speed option, that RPO. You never know what you're going to get. And with Mark Ingram back there, you know, you really have no idea who the hell is going to be running the ball. So we do need somebody to pass. And I think the Ravens, I am confident, you know, and I think a lot of the media is starting, at least Baltimore media. I listen to 105.7 quite often. And even they're starting to change their tune. Like, okay, you know what? Lamar Jackson may make that switch. Or maybe it's not so much him, but it is the offensive coordinator. Maybe he'll start calling some passing plays. Or maybe see what he can do. You know, I think outside of receiver, the Ravens need to really be focused on the line. Marshall Yanda got an extension through 2020, which is great. But we all know that's a retirement contract.
Yep.
There's no question. Orlando Brown Jr., solid.
Yeah, he's great.
He's solid. Ronnie Stanley,
soft.
Still not sold on him. Yeah. So I definitely think, you know, between center, maybe finding a mid-round tackle, that might be something the Ravens need to do.
Also, that's a very good option as well. And I put on there as well safety. Let's not forget you got Earl Thomas. I'm not hating on Earl Thomas whatsoever, but who you have Tony Jefferson playing in the box and how he's getting up there in age. He's like borderline me anyway. Yeah. Start preparing to, I hate to say ship him out the door, but start preparing for the next step. And imagine 2 years from now, Nasir Adderley out of Delaware and Earl Thomas back there just handling anything that's flying. You know, you already have Marlon Humphrey locking down one side. Jimmy Smith's getting a little old in the tooth, but he's still good for what he is. And Tavon Young is probably the best nickel cornerback in the league. You put something together, get the secondary solid, you'll be good. But I'm tired of talking about the Ravens because I live down here, so we're going to move on.
Well, one last thing to say about the Ravens. So if you're a Ravens fan, I think this is the one year you can actually feel good about your team grabbing a receiver. It's a very deep receiver class. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. You can trade up for Metcalf. You can trade down and get some of these other there's guys I'm going to talk about later I think it'll be really good. Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of receivers in this draft class that you can grab. Yeah,
I think without a doubt. I mean, there's just I think this is the Ravens' year to find their one receiver. We got the quarterback. You know, we shipped Joe Flacco out to Denver. Good luck out there, buddy. You did good first. You got a Super Bowl, and that's what we'll leave it at that. But I think it's time the Ravens do something they've never been able to do. Build around their quarterback.
That's it.
The Ravens have never been able to do that successfully. We got lucky when the Ravens had Joe Flacco in what I think was probably his prime, Ray Rice, and then we had Dennis Pitta, and we had Anquan Bolden. We got lucky that year. It just fell into place. There wasn't. I don't think there was any divine plan that brought that together. It's just like, holy shit, we just got lucky and got this much talent.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point where, yes, we got a couple of holes on the team. It's how the Ravens build around Lamar, because if you build around him, you're going to have success. We got to the playoffs last year. Lamar Jackson is 5-1 in the regular season, only barely losing to the Chiefs, who were easily one of the best teams in the NFL last year. So build a team around him and see what you get. But let's go up north. Let's talk to the Steelers because, you know, point blank and simple, your draft class, just best player available, honestly.
Right now, really is from what we've addressed in the offseason. Got a second cornerback outside of Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson, who played good with Kansas City. I went back and watched film. He has ball skills. He had 4 interceptions last year, about 70 tackles. I mean, you know, if you're picking the ball off, you're doing
your job.
Doing better than what Artie Burns is doing out there, if you want to talk about that shit show. Also, we went ahead and stole somebody from the Rams, played a little inside linebacker, you know, but he wasn't anything too amazing anyway. But I would say he's a stopgap for now because, Shazier's out putting up videos of him jumping up on boxes and looking like he's back in shape, but please do not come back and play football. I don't want to see anything happen to you. And, you know, we addressed wide receiver when we got Moncrief. Now, yes, Moncrief will never be the talent that Antonio Brown is. I am fully aware of this. But it's going to be about committee on the other side of that ball. But, you know, Juju and who is what it comes down to me. So I really think Moncrief's going to start. James Washington, if he develops the way he should have last year, you know, he went through a big up and down wave at the wide receiver position. We might be okay. It's too early to tell. I'm going to play wait and see on that. But if it's the best player available, I'm taking a tight end and Noah Fant, athletic freak tight end, man. I mean, the kid is amazing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is we have Vance McDonald. Remember the stiff arm. That's great. But Vance McDonald has a history of getting hurt. And also, he'll be about 30 next year. So you got to start getting ready for that next leg. But with the ammunition we acquired from trading Antonio Brown, we got a 3rd round and a 5th round from Oakland, which was robbery because he should have really got a 1st if he wasn't out here throwing shit off balconies and, crying and getting on there saying he had the biggest interview available and all that shit. We probably would have got a 1st round for him, but I'm not here to cry about that.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah. But if we take the ammunition, that 3rd and that 5th round that we got off of him, and even if we threw in a 2nd and a way to trade up to get either of the Devons, I call them the Devons, Devin White and Devin Bush, I think it would make up for that lack of a true 3-down middle linebacker that we've missed since Ryan Shazier's tragic back injury. So that's just me. But knowing the way this shit's going to happen, Devin and Devin are going to be gone way before we get an opportunity to trade up because they blew up the combine and they were hella talented in college. So,
well, here's the thing about you brought up Noah Fant. So both Iowa tight ends in this draft class are considered like the top 2 guys.
I forgot about. I'm not going to forget Hockenson.
2 tight ends from the same team are 1-2.
How does that happen?
Well, the reason I didn't say Hockenson, I have Hockenson going way earlier to me because he's more complete than Noah Fant. Noah Fant to me is more of a receiving threat. Yeah. Hockenson is complete. I can do everything. Line me up, catch, block, whatever the hell you tell him to do, he's going to do. I think he'll be long gone. If he's sitting there at 20 and I'm pulling the trigger on that. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's why I didn't say Hockenson. I have a feeling he's going to go between 10 and 15. Probably to me, even though we're getting off Green Bay because Jimmy Graham didn't do shit and Aaron Rodgers could definitely use another target up there. A little bit of help.
Yeah, who knows what that's a different.
Yeah, we'll get there another day. We have a lot of draft coverage coming next week or so, but that's a different story. But on to the Rams because I typed this up. I know that Mark Barron is gone. I'm not as familiar with the team. Holden is.
That's Holden's
team. I can't argue with him. Can't tell him what to do because I don't know a damn thing about the Rams except they went to the Super Bowl and let us all down.
You let America down, dude.
I'm going to razz you every once in a while about this shit. But as of right now, I have them taking Mac Wilson, inside linebacker. Could be wrong. I have him dropping a little bit because he didn't perform at the combine. And every other middle linebacker blew the shit up. So I have him but he's an Alabama linebacker, 3 down, middle of the pack guy. He's a thumper. But Holden, you could talk him up because I'm wrong here.
Well, it's hard to project what's going to happen for the Rams in this draft because, you can never really go off what they say on NFL.com because they just have like a bunch of shitload of defenders going early and you don't know if that's really going to happen or not. I do think the Rams need defense. I would say take the best player available at linebacker, defensive back, or we could go offensive lineman too because Whitworth is near retirement. Yep. So, there's a lot of ways you can go there. But again, you're picking at number 31. It's kind of tough. What I would like to see the Rams do is that pick up a couple of these sleeper receivers that are probably going to go later in the draft. Like I said, it's a deep receiver class. I want them to at least achieve that while also using an early pick on a defender or an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think that's a good move for you guys. Because, to be honest, looking at your team, honestly, probably one of the more complete teams in the NFL easily. So, again, I think you are in that Goldilocks, zone where you can just pick the best player available. And, all right, we had a great draft. We're just adding to the goodness we have. Definitely a line. You never want to get too old at line.
No, especially left tackle.
Yeah, exactly. That's your blind side. You don't want to get old at that position. That's the problem with the Ravens. We don't have a blind side.
Well, and the Rams have had a pretty bad track record with drafting offensive linemen, though. I think back to that Jason Brown pick where picked him super early and he was a dud. I think maybe that's why they decided to pick up a Whitworth at a free agency. When you do that, at least you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
I do trust them a little more on drafting defense than an offensive lineman, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what all three of our teams are going to do, and we could address some of these sleepers out.
Yeah, let's talk some of them.
My favorite and the first one on my list, and probably on Holden's list, is Andy Isabella.
Yes,
wide receiver out of UMass.
Bro, as I said, I remember the Saturday it happened. BYU played UMass, and I swear to God, I heard this dude's name like every fucking play. I was like, what? Who is Andy Isabella? Look back and realize dude's the legit deal. If he had gone to any big name school, a bigger name school than UMass, oh my God. If he had a serious quarterback thrown to him, bro.
That's probably what Holden's looking for Jared Goff out there. Maybe the
Jared Goff needs a time.
Well, I don't know if they have a second round pick, but about the third round, if he's sitting there, buddy.
I think the only reason he's going to go lower in the draft is because, number one, UMass not the biggest school. And two, he doesn't have the best size. Like a 5'9" dude, doesn't crack that 200-pound mark. So those are the red flags on his profile. But outside of that, it's all gravy. Yeah. I mean, and this guy, he played for UMass and put up great stats, very dominant player, huge market share of the targets on his own team. Yeah. But, I just look at the fact that another thing people might try to knock these small school players for is, they didn't play against great teams. Exactly. But look what he did against Georgia. Over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns against Georgia. I mean, this guy can play against a team.
Nobody, you should never sleep on a small school. I mean, look how many players have come out of small schools and done great.
There's a guy in the north named Ben Roethlisberger.
The guy named Joe Flacco who won a Super Bowl.
Delaware.
The list goes on.
It doesn't matter where the hell you come from. If you're there to play and you can play, you're going to make the team. Yes. You're going to make plays. So
100%.
Isabella's a sleeper. Then we have on there Darrell Henderson, running back out of Memphis. Fill me in, bro, because I'm a little blind on this one.
What I want to say about this guy is, again, a smaller school guy, but still Division One ball team. Mm-hmm. Now, again, the knock on Henderson is he didn't play the best competition, but what he did was 8.9 yards per carry his last 2 seasons. He had 8.9 yards per carry. You can't ignore that.
No.
I mean, so
college is college.
And that's in a featured back role. He was the bell cow, getting 8.9 yards per carry, and had a high BMI guy. That they tend to not get injured, have that low center of gravity. So I like him as a later pick as well for a running back.
One I want to throw in there real quick. It's a very unique player because I had the privilege of watching him over the years, watch his whole entire career. Sion Takitaki. Now, right now, the analysts start projecting he could be a day 2, day 3 guy. You just don't know. He did really good in the combine. And he's someone very unique to me. He's a tough son of a bitch, I swear. He, at one point, BYU lined him up as an end one season. Dominated. He was playing defensive end. And we're talking about a guy that's only about 230, 240.
Being polite.
Yeah. I'm being nice. But he was still going out there, going against big-ass tackles and doing good. They moved him to inside. And I think in the last bowl game that they had, and again, another small bowl game, Idaho Potato Bowl. We won, thank God, and he had easily 20-odd tackles. And a few of them were for losses. And I think he's an inside linebacker type of guy, but he can also play outside. But I think because of his size, he'll probably stick on the inside. And I think if he went to the Ravens, I could see that being a good bet for him. I honestly think his body type, at least in an early Ray Lewis stage. Short,
we can't
not skill-wise. Not skill-wise. I'm talking size. I'm talking size.
See the head turn now. I don't put a lot of people on Ray category.
I don't. But I put. But the amount of intensity that he had. As hard as he played, I think any team that gets him in that 3rd, 4th, 5th round, that's a steal because he's going to bust his ass. He's going to work hard. And like I said, I've seen him play pass coverage. I've seen him play pass rush. I mean, he's a very versatile linebacker. So, honestly, you just never know. Another BYU being not a big name, but it plays small schools. It's a very unique thing to BYU. But got someone out of Maryland, Darnell Savage. I love seeing Maryland guys on the list.
This is probably my favorite safety in the class. He could play free safety, strong safety, cornerback, lines up in the box of inside linebacker, completely versatile, completely physical. He looks for contact. He's not running from it. I fell in love watching some of the YouTube highlights 100%. On him. Really physical guy. You know, you polish him up a little bit and do the work when you're a rookie. You're not going to come in perfect. Yeah. You're going to have a little hellraiser there no matter who gets it.
And how much have we talked about the fact that the league has gone from a lack of contact league to see a kid like him who wants to hit.
Oh, he wants
to get dirty. How many safeties do you see like back? I'm like, no, that ain't me. No, this kid comes after you.
No, he's coming.
He's excited.
And he's not really a sleeper. They have him going day 2.
Yeah.
And they have him between the 2nd and 3rd round. But I had to throw him in there because if something falls wrong, I wouldn't be surprised to see him late first. Just based off of what I've seen myself. So
I'm wondering, and you know, we talked about the Ravens with their safety. Mm-hmm. Maryland, obviously, only 30 minutes south of the city.
Yep.
Obviously, the Marylands have talked about. Obviously, the Ravens have talked about this kid. I wouldn't be mad if this kid came and played.
Go and look for yourself, but that's probably my favorite guy in the
draft.
Hands down. Well, one of them, and my favorite is this last one, Chase Winovich, edge rusher out of Michigan.
Whew.
It's a home body type story because he's born in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. So I've seen him develop into what he has become.
Yeah.
The boy reminds me of TJ Watt. And I mean that not based off of talent, based off intensity. High motor guy, never takes a play off. He's always in the backfield. Tons of tackles for losses.
Yeah.
I think he only had 8 or 9 sacks this year, but I can't remember not seeing him around the football. And, you know, they have a day 2 grade on him too. Check the 2nd or 3rd round. If he's sitting there, I think he ran about a 4.6 40 at the combine. I think he's about 6'3", 6'4", 260.
Dude, he's
I have to go look at the other stuff. I have to go look at the other little nitpicks on him, but the boy's bad. So
he's a
definitely my favorite one, but that's a home thing because he's from about 10 minutes across the town. So
I mean, I think this is the draft class of day 2 guys.
Yes.
With you. Like there's a lot of good 2nd to 3rd round guys.
I'm telling you, if you're sitting there late and you're like, I could recoup some picks and trade out. Well, you might win based off of trading out.
For those of you that watch Charm City Beat, me and Jordan were talking about that.
Trade out.
The Ravens, specifically in a situation where they could trade out, get multiple picks for that one first round. Because, I mean, here's the thing. What were we picking out? Like 20-something?
21.
You know, DK Metcalf's going to be off.
Everybody's going to be gone.
Everybody's going to be gone. Why not pick some of these sleepers? I mean, not saying Andy Isabella would perfectly work for the Ravens.
But Emmanuel Hall.
Emmanuel Hall.
Out of Missouri. He's a comparable player, too.
Yeah. Yep. Again, I think, like Justin said, day 2, day 3 draft, it's going to be really fun to watch.
I'm banking late trade out. And the reason why I say
I'm scared because I want to talk about the Ravens first.
I know you do. But I'm going to let you know. There's going to be a team who did what you guys did last year.
Yeah.
There's somebody that's going to want to come up and get their guy early. And they're going to, you'll be able, if you took that first round pick, you'll be able to get at least another 2nd, 3rd. You may be a 2nd and 2/3, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You'll get enough
if that's
to compensate.
The case, that's insane for the Ravens. That's great.
And then I would take that capital because if you look at the deep pockets of this draft, because it's so deep with defense this year.
Yes.
It's sick with defense.
And what have we said?
And wide receiver and linebacker, completely deep this year.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sitting there and somebody's like, hey, I need to get my quarterback now, and there's somebody hanging out there who dropped a little bit, I'm sitting there in 2021 and the deal is right and I can make a little bit more money on the back end, I'm backing it up. So Justin definitely brought the depth out here because let me tell you, if I was sitting at about 30, 31 like he is and there ain't shit there, I might move
back out.
Well, it's also weird how this year's draft is set up because you got a couple teams that already aren't picking in the first round. The Cowboys, the Browns, and you look at the Raiders who accumulate all their first round picks for this year. So it's going to be weird. You got like a couple teams that have multiple first round picks and a couple that have none.
Yep.
And who knows what the hell happens with the trades during the draft.
You have no idea what's coming. There's been rumors of players getting moved on draft day.
Yeah.
You know, and they're talking about what Josh Rosen, God forbid they take
Arizona still does not know what they're going to do. And it pisses me off, honestly, what Arizona's doing. It's like, really?
You take this kid, say he's not shit after a year, and you're going to take another quarterback without even giving him a chance?
You ever thought that maybe it's you?
It's probably them, and I hope they don't do Josh Rosen dirty
seriously,
like that.
I mean...
But they're going to.
They're going to.
Murray is Cliff Kingsbury's boy. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Rosen goes to the Giants.
I could see that.
I could see Rosen playing for New York, and I could see Kyler playing for Arizona, and Kyler not having an amazing season, and we're like, oh, well, maybe it's us. Maybe it's us.
But, you know.
It's the Cardinals. They suck. Damn it. What the fuck have they done?
I mean, we went to the Super Bowl against them, but they were at their
that was Pete Cardinals. Since then, what have they done?
Ruined careers.
There you go. Enough said. But one team not worried about a quarterback situation, which brings us to the resurrection of the game ball. Russell Wilson. They paid that man.
Thank God.
Wow.
I'm glad he
And it was so dramatic. April 15th deadline. It was like, is Russell Wilson going to be on the Seahawks? Could you imagine the Seahawks without him? And then you're like, well, who's going to be there? And it's like, maybe Kyler Murray will be there.
Yep.
Who knows? There were so many scenarios just driving and going around. And, of course, they paid the man. Russell Wilson, most likely a Seattle Seahawk for life. If I were the Seahawks, I would definitely begin rebuilding the team around him because he has been your offense for about 2 years.
I wouldn't say he's been the offense.
But have you seen that line? The boy has had to make plays on his legs.
Well, he had the number one rushing attack. He hasn't been the offense.
I'm talking about. Hey, listen.
I know he's been running for his life.
He's been making plays.
The worst offensive line in the league.
So build a line. You paid the man. Okay, now take some of the money you got left over because they paid a lot of money for him. Start putting
$70 million guaranteed.
Oh God. Yeah.
Before you even breathe.
I mean, he's the highest paid quarterback.
He's the highest paid player in the NFL right now.
Right now.
And obviously, with the way we've seen baseball and the way football, their salaries have just gotten astronomical. I don't think he will be that maybe after next year or the year after. But at least for now, dude, you're at the top. Russell Wilson, not somebody you like to hear about too often, huh?
Well, I mean, I think they had to do this because
they had to.
Without him, like they're going to be like a Raiders situation, just blow up the team for a good 5-6 years.
Yeah, but I mean, draft season is here. Like I said on our UFC special, if you've watched that, next Thursday we will be covering the draft, and it will be virtually live. Actually, pick after pick, we recap it, we cover it. So again, hit that little subscribe button. It's a little red button. It's down there. It's down there. Yep. And hit that little bell because that's going to give you the notification to let you know when we're posting videos. Because like I said, Thursday night draft night, if you don't feel like watching the draft, we got you covered. Watch us. Please watch us.
There you go.
You know, Dwayne will be there. You, me, everybody's going to be here. We're going to be entertained. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, I mean, like and subscribe, obviously, whether you're watching on thisislittube.com or YouTube or even Facebook. Stay tuned for so much more. Take care.